So you're Ray Kroc in the 1950s, a mediocre salesman with the dream of becoming insanely rich one day, but so far you haven't had any luck. After trying to become a Red Cross ambulance driver, a real estate agent, a jazz pianist, and even a flower seller, you ended up selling milkshake blenders. It's something, but you hated it. Who gets rich off of selling milkshake machines? Nobody. But one day, your luck changes. Just when you least expect it, you got a huge order for your machines from a random little restaurant in San Bernardino, California. The order was way bigger than the ones you're used to, especially for such a small restaurant. What can you need that many milkshake machines for? Something was going on here. You could smell money and opportunity in the air, and you just had to find out what was going on here. So you drove across the country to give the mysterious restaurant a visit yourself, a restaurant called McDonald's. The place was run by two brothers, Maurice, also known as Mac, and Richard McDonald. But this wasn't any ordinary restaurant, though. It was a well-oiled machine. McDonald's only had three things on the menu: hamburgers, French fries, and milkshakes. They didn't offer any seats or tables inside for their customers, and everything was disposable to go bad. The business model was basically hurry up, take your food, and get out. And although we're used to this today, back then this was revolutionary. Everything was precise and timed down to the second, all based on a cooking system, worked like a factory line to make sure every order went out perfectly and fast. Customers loved it. They were lining up around the block to buy a hamburger from McDonald's. It was a completely new type of restaurant at McDonald's. People didn't have to sit down at a table and wait for 30 minutes before they get their food. They could order and start eating in around 60 seconds. And because the brothers built such a good system, no matter who was in the kitchen, burgers taste exactly the same every single time. The McDonald's brothers has single-handedly created fast food and their pitch. You won't get such a delicious hamburger for as low as 15 cents in such a short time anywhere else. As you witnessed McDonald's in action, you had realized that you had just stumbled upon untapped gold mine. Here was your road to riches. Here was the thing that would make you a millionaire. You were going to take the McDonald's model and build a fast food empire to take over the world. But first, you would have to get in bed with the McDonald's brothers.
This is Ray Kroc, founder of McDonald's. The man had a dream 23 years ago.
Remember, McDonald's.
McDonald's brothers had humble beginnings. They were born into a poor Irish immigrant family living in New Hampshire. Their father, Patrick, used to work as a shift manager for a shoe factory to support the family. But after 42 years of grinding it out, he was laid off, told he was too old to work there anymore. Suddenly, he was left with no severance package, no retirement, no plan for the future, absolutely nothing. And it was in that moment of desperation the McDonald's brothers knew that they would have to take the mantle and go out there and make some money. And they set a goal to make $1 million. They were 50 years old. So they decided to head out west, search for their fortune all the way to California. In California, they tried working on film sets, even operating a movie theater. Everything they tried failed miserably. And then to top it all off, the Great Depression hits, and things get much worse for the brothers. The brothers needed to find a way to make money. But no one was spending money on movies and other non-essentials anymore. It was the Great Depression after all. If you could afford a house, car, and food, you were lucky. And that's when it hit the one thing everyone needed, no matter how poor they were. Food. So the brothers reused their uniforms from their failed movie theater business, and they started a restaurant where waiters would take orders from people's cars. But as they ran the restaurant, they noticed an interesting pattern. Out of everything they had on the menu, there was one thing that people ordered more than anything else: hamburgers. They were selling more burgers than anything else. So being the geniuses that they were, they thought, why not give people what they want and just sell burgers, nothing else? So brothers pivoted. And after a quick rebranding, the brothers officially opened up the very first McDonald's in 1948, and slowly but steadily, McDonald's became a massive local success.
So we decided, let's try it. Let's hang on a little bit longer. So we did. Well, along about the end of the third month, it began to pick up a little.
This new type of restaurant, fast food restaurant, attracted customers who were in a hurry and needed something quick, affordable, and tasty to eat. Students, cab drivers, construction workers, travelers, and busy families were their best customers. And within just a few years, McDonald's brothers were so successful that they started expanding and opening up new locations all across the state. They worked with an architect to design their signature yellow arches that could be seen from a mile away. It was looking like McDonald's might be on its way to becoming a household name in the restaurant game. And that's when our guy, Ray Kroc, stumbled across McDonald's and saw the opportunity of a lifetime. Ray Kroc knew he couldn't just walk into McDonald's and take over the business overnight. If he wanted to know everything about the business, he would have to do it from the inside. He would have to earn the brothers' trust. So he went up to them with the best salesman smile and told them just how impressed he was with McDonald's. He saw real potential in the business and wanted to be involved. And the brothers were flattered. They knew their business was doing well, but here was someone who actually wanted to invest in their dream. And since they already started franchising McDonald's, he thought the next logical step was to work with people like Ray, people who wanted to open other McDonald's across the country. And thanks to Ray's years of being a salesman, it didn't take long for the brothers to give him a 10-year master franchise agreement to open and franchise McDonald's throughout the US. And that's all Ray needed to hear. Practically ran back to Illinois to start signing up franchisees. And he didn't just want to open up a restaurant here and there. He wanted to create a giant network of McDonald's. By the following year, Ray set up the McDonald's System Incorporated, predecessor to the McDonald's Corporation, founded another company to handle all the brands, build a kingdom of McDonald's restaurants all across America. But the brothers started having second thoughts. They were tired, been grinding out for decades since they moved to California to try and make it big. They wanted to settle down. They wanted to get out of the restaurant game and enjoy their richest in taxes were killing us, Richard told the Wall Street Journal in 1991. We weren't kids anymore, and so Ray and the brothers started bumping heads. Ray wanted to expand at all costs. Ray wanted to shake things up and keep innovating, but the brothers just wanted to maintain their lifestyle. The tension between them got so bad that Ray went up to them and said, "Look, what is it going to take to make you go away?" The brothers said $2.7 million. We want $1 million each and $700,000 to pay our taxes. That's how practical they were. And they were happy with that. So in 1961, the brothers asked Ray for $2.7 million, 1% of McDonald's gross sales, to hand over control. Ray took the deal, but Ray didn't have that cash on hand. So he went out on a limb, borrowed cash from a bunch of people, eventually coming up enough money to buy the rights to McDonald's. And just like that, the McDonald's brothers had both achieved their dream. They had finally become millionaires, but would turn out to be one of the worst financial decisions ever made. The deal with Ray should have been the best thing that ever happened to the McDonald's brothers. They put in the years, they did the hard stuff, and now they could finally sit back and relax without doing any work. But at the last minute, Ray slipped. He said he had the $2.7 million ready for them. 1% stake in McDonald's would have to be off the books. Ray told the brothers that including that 1% in their agreement on paper would mess up negotiations with new investors. So Ray promised that he would just do a handshake deal with them, and he would pay them the 1% without an official contract. The McDonald's brothers trusted Ray. They had been partners for years, so they all shook hands on the deal. Ray was a man of business, not honor. So the second McDonald's was transferred over to Ray's name. He had already made up his mind that he would pay the brothers another single penny. Now, with the brothers kicked to the curb, Ray was finally free to shape McDonald's franchise into the fast kingdom of his dreams. And almost in an instant, McDonald's started diverging from its roots. For the brothers, their number one concern was putting out high-quality food and making sure their customers were happy. But for Ray, his one and only focus was growth. Growth was the only metric that mattered, and grow it he did. Soon there were McDonald's in every single state and every single city. And after only 3 years of taking over, Ray had doubled the number of McDonald's in America. He even opened up a location a block away from the McDonald's brothers' childhood home to really rub his success in their faces. And soon, in 1967, the legendary Big Mac was born. In 1971, McDonald's German play places were born. By 1977, the Happy Meal was born to fat enough children all over America. And by 1979, the legendary Chicken McNuggets were introduced. As Americans started cutting down on red meat, the McDonald's franchise was exploding. Ray was taking all the credit, and he was not giving the real founders a single cent of that promised 1%. All the McDonald's brothers could do was watch. As the brand grew bigger and bigger, every single day, Ray Kroc took the McDonald's brothers for a ride. He went from being a failed salesman peddling milkshake machines to the owner of a multi-billion-dollar fast food company. But the brothers weren't so lucky. They had accomplished their goal of becoming a millionaire. In the process, they lost out on hundreds of millions of dollars. It made their $2.7 million look like chump change. And what's worse is they never even got their recognition for their role in creating McDonald's. Even though it was named after them, every year the company would throw an annual Founders Day celebration in honor of Ray Kroc, not the McDonald's brothers, but there was nothing they can do. Legally, Ray Kroc was the rightful owner of McDonald's, and mentally, it tore the brothers apart. They eventually begged to know why Ray just didn't steal the fast food business idea instead of taking over McDonald's. His response, the McDonald's name, Ray said it was such a nice, simple-sounding, all-American name that he could never compete with. That's why he couldn't resist. After all, could you imagine a fast food chain named Croc's? The McDonald's brothers didn't realize just how powerful and valuable their fast food restaurant chain was, but Ray Kroc did. He saw McDonald's for what it could be, and today McDonald's brings in $23 billion in revenue, which means that the brothers' 1% would have come out to $230 million a year. But instead, the lesson: whenever you're doing business, get the terms down on paper. Today, there's still speculation if the brothers actually did ask for that 1% or not. But regardless, the McDonald's brothers did find some solace. When asked if they regretted selling, one of the brothers replied, "No, I would have wound up in some skyscraper somewhere with 4 ulcers and 8 tax attorneys trying to figure out how to pay all my income tax. We had 3 homes and a garage full of Cadillacs, and we didn't owe it down to anyone. I have 0 regrets. Yachts on the Riviera were not my style at all. Their life was great," their biographer explained. They were buying new Cadillacs every year. They were working hard in their original McDonald's restaurant. But they knew if they sold out, they would be working more than they were now, and they wouldn't be able to maintain the quality they achieved in the restaurant. They were ambitious enough, but they weren't ambitious to dominate the world. But perhaps the most tragic part of the McDonald's story was once a respectable fast food restaurant, serving real food with real fresh cooked burgers, has evolved into the most processed artificial gunk think of. That is literally designed to make you addicted.